Good morning and welcome to 59 Minutes. My name is Levi Kones. This morning we're going to be having a discussion with a gentleman called Sak Waithaka. He is the MCA Jubilee nominee for the Mugumo Ini ward. Where is Mugumo Ini, sir?
Mugumo Ini is in Gatanga constituency, that is in Murang'a County.
In Murang'a County.
In Murang'a County, yes.
Right, karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Levi.
Yeah.
It's good to be here.
Now, tell us about why you aspired for this particular seat.
To begin with, I think this is the moment for. The story has always been. It's time for youth. The youth are the leaders of the future. But I came to realize that the future is now. So to begin with, that is why we're there. Secondly, I think we are having. We don't have leaders in place right now. We only have politicals. So we are also looking at changing that. We want to have leaders in place rather than having politicians. Yeah.
So you decided, a lot of people have aspired to become MCA. Some of the questions they are being asked is whether they are doing it for the monetary value.
Yeah, honestly, you cannot discount that because number one, there is the aspect of joblessness among the young guys, you know. So and that's an avenue for guys to go get money.
Yeah.
But personally, in my case, I think I've been more involved in the community, regardless of now the monetary aspect. And I think that is also an inspiration of why I now decided to even take the bull by its horn.
Yeah.
And now go for the seat.
I
believe once in the position, I can do better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in that position as a youth and young leader in the community. I've tried to work with politicians and leaders who can give us space. Some have been very positive, and some have been very negative with it.
And some have been a bit negative. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, in terms of just the decision to make to enter into politics, because a lot of people, we have got more people aspiring than ever before.
Yeah.
And usually the questions they get asked is one, okay, we've talked about why you want to do it.
Yeah.
Then we talk about, do you have the money to do it?
Yeah.
We talk about what do you think would be, the party to use, and we're going to come to that. Okay. But let me ask about in terms of like finances and running an election. Yeah. How's it been like for you? What's the experience?
Honestly, the experience is not easy. It's not easy, but if you're up for the task, if you're up for the task and you take challenges, you've been through challenges previously, then I think it becomes something that you can go through. Then the other thing is that this aspect of just having money to go and run for a political office, it's more misplaced because value cannot just be quantified in the monetary aspect. There is value in people who see what you do, and those people are willing to put in monetary value or monetary equivalent value to what you're doing. So yes, money is required to some extent. Yes, there are places whereby money is definitely a requirement, but you also work with other forms of value in terms of networks. The networks that one has, they come in very handy. Actually, yeah. I would actually encourage people to have more networks than the money aspect, because the networks come with value, and they also bring in not just monetary value, because they also come with perspective, strategy.
Yeah.
And that is value. That is value you cannot buy with money. And if you are to buy with money, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. So I think the aspect of networks and all that is very essential in a campaign.
Yeah. Very
essential in a campaign. Yes.
And that's really a good point, because this country is full of people who ask, "Utatupatia nini?" Have you seen that on the campaign trail?
Absolutely. I think it's also an experience. Actually, running is also an experience for me. I'm in school. I'm in class. I've been in that community before. I've done things for that community before. But now the tables have turned. I'm running for a political office. And the same people I was working for, the same people I was putting effort in for, are completely different in that right now they don't want to listen to me without, you know, hey, we know you are here with us.
Don't you to facilitate them. I think that's the word we use.
The word is
politically correct. Eh?
It is a form of facilitation if you look at it from that, because there's a famous song about nchi ya kitu kidogo, nchi ya chai, whatever.
Watu wadogo.
Watu wadogo. So yeah, it is more, let's call it facilitation, but I think it is a very it's a very wrong culture. It's a retrogressive culture because it actually is blocking a lot of very good potential out there. It's locking them out because a lot of young guys are not going to run for office because they get scared of that. But we are there, and we are definitely there, and we are making our inroads on that.
Yeah.
The other thing is now to eliminate such a culture. You just need to have a good strategy. You make sure that you eliminate or more or less reduce now that dependency on the handout culture. So it's about how you prepare and plan for everything.
It's about how you prepare and plan. Indeed, it is.
Yeah.
Now, I called you here so we could discuss about, you know, especially which way Central Kenya.
Yes.
And you know, there's been a huge focus. We were supposed to have this conversation quite a number of months ago, but I'm glad we're having it now because right now things have really shifted.
Very true, very true.
You know, we would have been speculating then, but I think now we are at a point where
everything is on the table right now.
Yeah. Are you surprised with the goings on politically?
Honestly, if I can maybe try and form a conjecture or a context on how and why I even decided to be on the Azimio side. Now, which I'm a Jubilee party candidate, but our presidential candidate is Honorable Raila Odinga, who's the flag bearer for Azimio.
Yeah.
I think looking at because the genesis of all this is the handshake, the famous handshake between the Right Honorable Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta. It was a momentous moment for the country, historic moment, and looking from how things have been going up to now, I think looking at, you know, we have to understand that what President Uhuru is trying to do and his brother Raila Odinga is that they are trying to sanitize politics in our country. So that is something we have to understand, and things have to be very different. And looking at, first of all, the running mate for Azimio, that was also another surprise, you know. But I think I've been looking at that.
Was it?
It was to many, but somehow I thought it was also a good way to go. I had been rooting for Honorable Peter Kenneth because I've also
he's from Muranga.
No, not specifically. Not really, because first of all he's a leader who's I call him an inspiration to me because he's one of the leaders that have had one-on-one interactions. His brand of politics and his brand of leadership. He has steered a constituency from zero up to the top leading constituency in the country. That is remarkable, you know. And I believe, because I know he's a person I've had, you know, I know how he thinks and what his aspirations for the country. So I was looking for Peter Kenneth, but Martha Karua is also a strong candidate, and it is also historic for us. And I think the naming of the running mate for Kenya has definitely shown us what Mount Kenya can offer. We have leadership.
Well, it says here in the newspapers, I have it over here in the Star.
Yeah.
It talks about, actually both the Star and the Nation here. Yeah. Talk about the polls and, you know, suggesting the 39-35%, you know. Is this poll true?
I think they're actually missing it, because right now there was something that was trending on social media, and somebody had quipped, more or less, was trying to joke and said, why, let me put it in Kiswahili, mbona baba amemaliza kazi mapema. You know, he didn't want Baba to name Martha Karua because now in Mount Kenya, We moved from 35% to 98%.
Did it? You tell me.
Yeah, it did.
You're on the ground.
It did. I'm on the ground. It is that remarkable. Honestly, we cannot ignore that fact. It is made things very easy. One of the things that most of our opponents I know were trying to use was the candidature of our presidential aspirant on the ground. So they wanted to use that as fodder for their campaigns. But right now, it has been reduced to nothing. So we are not scared. We are going to champion for our presidential candidate.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's been quite the the assumption about Central Kenya. I'm actually married in Central Kenya.
Yeah.
So I got to Nyeri quite a bit. And I would tell you a couple of months ago, the times that I went there, it would be difficult to find somebody who was not a bottom-up adherence.
Yes.
In Nyeri County. I'm guessing right now in Nyeri County it's probably worse because of the choice of Rigathi Gachagua. But there has been this belief that generally the Central Kenya people have really moved towards UDA. I've had people here come from UDA and discuss. I had a women rep from Kirinyaga County. She was here. She was telling me about the wave out there in Central Kenya. And there's that belief that, that area had already been taken over by Dr. Ruto and his, Kenya Kwanza outfit. And there was no way there was even a possibility of you guys to make any inroads there. Is that the case?
I think some time back they would have made such affirmations by the UDA camp and Kenya Kwanza guys was more or less it was talk of the ground. But unfortunately for them, they were in the race alone. So then they were talking. No one was. We were actually doing our strategies. But right now, everything is changed. The ball game is completely changed. Back then, there was a time that they were saying it was very hard to even mention as the Azimio presidential candidate, Right Honorable Odinga in Mount Kenya. As it is right now, people were just silent. And being silent that doesn't mean people have already made up an opinion. They are going to vote for Azimio. That is number one. Number two, if you look at what the outcomes of or whatever is being handed to Mount Kenya, first of all, UDA has been championing, has been against what the handshake was trying to get for the country, especially for the mountain region, through BBI. UDA has been trying to block that. But right now, it was just demonstrated that they are using the same principles to try and form their government and stuff like that. So more or less, they are trying. It is a copy and paste. It is a copy and paste. Just recently, we had their presidential candidate talk about 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote. That was something that actually wasn't it for Right Honorable Odinga and ODM. It was something that he really championed and even made sure that his ODM brigade in the assembly championed for and even voted for. So, unfortunately for the UDA, they've been shouting, they've been on the ground, they've polarized, they had actually polarized the ground. But the good thing is that, especially with the appointment of Honorable Martha Karua, everything is changed. Everything is changed. The conscience of Mount Region is awoken now. People are actually talking about, by the way, this is what we've been waiting for. These guys have been trying to more or less lie to us. So, onus is on UDA. They should watch us. We are coming. We are coming. We're very strategic, and the timing is now. It wasn't then when they were all on the ground using whatever resources of where they get what they were getting. We are there. We are very strategic, and we are going to make sure that Mount Region belongs to the Red Army and under Azimio.
You're confident?
Very confident. Very good. I'm even smiling.
Yeah. You tell me.
Yeah.
What is the biggest departure in policy from yourselves and from the Kenya Kwanza Brigade?
First of all, to begin, is that like I'd said, the conjecture or context of the handshake. President Uhuru Kenyatta is actually sanitizing our politics. And he's borrowing that from the national vision, which is Vision 2030.
Yeah.
Vision 2030 is the country's vision. By 2030, this is where we want Kenya to be. Vision 2030 has three pillars, which is the first one is economic, second one is social, and the third one is political. So under political pillar, I think I honestly salute our President Uhuru Kenyatta because he's very brave. You know, the brevity he has demonstrated by doing whatever he's done, shaking hands with his biggest nemesis, as it was then. That is brevity, and also making sure that he's sacrificing because he was being name called by a lot of people, but he's sacrificing his position to make sure that he has set the country's path after he leaves office. In that, you know, let me be honest, Levi. Politics affect the socio-political economics of our country. Bad politics, like Mzee Moi once said, bad politics,
siasa mbaya.
Maisha mbaya. So, the brevity of President Uhuru Kenyatta must be saluted because he's going to make sure that he sanitizes politics. And after this, even the predecessors, which I believe our incoming president, the fifth, Right Honorable Odinga, is going to have a very easy way of even managing the country and moving forward, taking our country to the next frontier. Yes.
So why not William Ruto?
You know, there is this. First of all, how can you know, it is actually even, I think it is immoral. And now this is more or less political morality because I'm going to borrow from that because I understand what President Uhuru is trying to do and what the Kenya Kwanza is trying to do. How can you coin something using anatomy? You know, because bottom up is more or less trying to, why use anatomical donations to try and demonstrate something? That regardless. Number one, you talk about bottom up, and I asked them, what is devolution? Because if devolution is not bottom up, I don't know what, and they don't even seem to know what. Right now, if you look at the late President Kibaki, he made sure that Kenya, he actually opened up the telecom sector, and also the transport sector, giving our youth and young guys and even guys in the society through transport. He opened up transport. Alileta pikipiki, and those things, that's a factor. You know, the border sector is also a sector. It's actually a sector that can it should be recognized. Now, if President and following now our national vision, which is Vision 2030. What President Uhuru is trying to build upon was make sure, rather than reducing these people to wheelbarrow, walileto pikipiki. He's trying to come up with things that are going to make sure these guys go out of pikipiki and more or less wanunue to Uber. So that is growth. That is how we should think. But thinking of watoe kwa pikipiki warudishe kwa wheelbarrow, that is an abuse, honestly. Conscientiously, it's not something that, it is immoral.
Yeah.
It is immoral.
Let's talk about the choice of running mates because you alluded to that even when we first started discussing about how that has, caused some upheaval. I mean, we are seeing it even in the newspapers, as far as their polling is concerned.
Yeah.
But how much of a factor of Martha Karua being a woman is it actually in national politics? Because we have seen women run for presidency, including Martha herself.
Martha herself, yes.
We have not seen them amount to so much.
Do
you really think the electorate cares?
Yes. I think the correct answer is yes, but
or cares enough to make it be a big factor.
Well placed. Actually, cares enough. I think they don't care that enough, but they do care. They do care because as much as there was that polarization, the conscience right now of Wanjiku, the mass electorate, is awakening up, especially after that landmark proclamation by Right Honorable Raila Odinga. It has woken the conscience of the electorate. And they can now see, it is more or less a shift in perspective and paradigm. They can now realize and see, we can realize actually putting women in positions of leadership, which is a trendsetter. I think it is a trendsetter, and also that is brevity on the side of Azimio. That is brevity, and that is the way to go. That is the way to go. It is a factor, yes, because number two, I think it is also going to encourage women, especially we have so many young ladies and women going for the political positions, unlike previously. So it is more or less going to set a precedent. It is actually sets a very good precedent that, and women should also believe in themselves. Persistence, they should come and play in the arena of politics without fear, and they should not, fine, they should expect the challenges within, and they should be ready for that, but they should not cower, or, they should not be cowered by the peers.
Yeah. What does the Central think about the choice of Rigathi Gachagua?
Number one, I think it is more or less, if I was an adherent of Kenya Kwanza, I would think that as an abuse, because number one, Kenya at this juncture doesn't require radicals, and he's more or less one than the latter. They would have, Kenya Kwanza would have demonstrated that they know, or they have something for the country, or something to offer for the country by choosing the latter. I think Professor Kindiki, that is a person who could bring value, on their aspiration. But unfortunately, I don't know why they chose him.
But if they'd chosen somebody else, you people would have said, you know what, you didn't give us. Were the Central Kenya people that keen in as far as?
Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Absolutely. And actually the expectations were on people like Professor Kindiki, because if you look at both sides, if you look at the Azimio side and the candidatures on Kenya Kwanza side, more or less Azimio was, there was, these are leaders. Peter Kim, track record, Malaka, track record, But to go to Kindiki, very good. He was once time speaker in the Senate. So he's a guy who has a track record, yes. But now, this guy, Gachagua, he's pending cases and all that and allegations.
He has a track record too, he was a deal.
Yeah, but then, when you go ground, it's different.
And they say all politics is local, huh?
Yeah, it's local.
All politics is
at that deal level, kuna vitu walifanya pia zilikuwa
Right, we'll take a break on that note.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after these messages. You are watching 59 Minutes. Don't go away.
Thank you.